Hello and welcome to, I always mess up the music. And welcome to the comic book Doogie Horner's comic cavalcade of review fun. Pow! Sorry. Mark Maron, anybody? Still listening to him? I am. I stopped for a while. I was like, there's gotta be better podcasts. And then I didn't find any. Well, I found a few. There's a lot of murder podcasts. I talked about this before. Everybody loves murder. They're like, those murderers. What are they? What makes them tick? I find it gruesome. All right, Heroes in Crisis. Number 2. I talked about number 1 yesterday, and I had some misgivings. I was concerned about. I think it's a controversial comic. I'm not sure what people are saying about it. I've heard a little bit. But the second issue really allayed a lot of my concerns. I really liked it. I think so far he's walking the line really beautifully. This is a dangerous. Dangerous is not the right word, but it's a sensitive subject to tackle in superhero comics because, like I said, like if superheroes are like real people, and then they get in that they get traumatized by seeing messed up stuff. They see messed up stuff every day. How do they stay superheroes? They would all be having nervous breakdowns. So I just don't know if you can even say that that's a thing that happens. You know what I mean? It's like Batman not having any superpowers for like regeneration and stuff. He gets hit all the time. He'd be dead. He's gotta have. Anyways. So, but I think it's a groundbreaking subject to address, but it's sort of like you're breaking the grounds that the comic books are resting on, that the foundation of comic books, and you're breaking that ground, and then the whole structure, the house, the metaphorical house of comic books, is just going to collapse, and then you got this pile of rubble, and you're like, look what I did. But I think that's actually not what's happening. Why am I so hot? Heroes in Crisis, number 2, by Tom King, Clayman. Oh, right, we went through this before. Sounds like a Batman villain. Clayman and Travis Moore. Are those 2 different artists? I didn't even notice. Oh, I did notice. Why did they do that? Clayman only did. Oh, Travis Moore only did pages 16 to 18. Why did he do that? I wonder. Anyways, starts with the Warner Brothers Horror Made Here Spooky Tour. Looks spooky. I understand this is the image that they chose. Like, just a guy walking towards your golf cart. It's not that spooky. Starts with Poison Ivy. Pretty funny scene with her and Harley. Poison Ivy. Love that costume. I like that she's all covered up. Then we cut to Harley going through all these penguins. I love that. Heroes in Crisis, real big on the snow. And then you got her with the penguin, which I really like. I like that in the background with the penguin. There's like this dude. Okay, he's got a gun to his head. I like that. Munchkin game, collectible card games. Undead and loving it. What the hell is this? Hashtag play Munchkin. Then they're doing an autopsy on Steel. And Superman says, you know. And Batman goes, I don't know. They're like, come on, you know. And Wonder Woman says, stop this, you're Batman, you know. Okay, Wonder Woman wouldn't say that. The real Wonder Woman. Hey, I know her. Hey, we went to school together, and no, but I just don't think like that's something we would write. Like that's something a comic book writer would write. Wonder Woman saying, "You're Batman." I just don't know. And they cut Steel open, his semi-impenetrable skin. It's a little gruesome. Batman says, "I do not have kryptonite." Oh, we finally get to see Batman sort of like squirt out a few like dusty tears. And then Booster wakes up in the field. He's been healed by Skeets. I didn't know about that guy. Booster says he's crazy. And then you got Harley playing cards with the Penguin. It's pretty funny. She finally put on her old costume again. Oh, I just realized something. I didn't know that. So I was complaining about her twin ponytails. I didn't realize that they were inspired by the twin little, whatever you call these doohickeys on her head hood. Right? They must have been. Never realized that. Did you know that? And then it's weird. So Harley's playing cards with the Penguin, and then all of a sudden, there's the Flash is there, and some of these other Green Lantern people. I don't really understand. Oh, it's a Snickers ad. Oh. Look at that orange guy. Who is he? And then Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman show up. Where Harley is. Booster Gold. I love that he's flying over these cows. You just don't get to see cows much in comic books. Unless you're reading Shaolin Cowboy. And then something awful is going to happen to that cow. Anytime I see an innocent animal in Shaolin Cowboy, I want to be like, get out of there! You're going to get chopped in half by a samurai sword. And, but then, I'm a little confused. So Harley is seems to insinuate that she wanted the Justice League to find her. But then all she does is she fights them and then she runs away. So why did she want them to find her? And then, so first of all, she says this poem. Well, it's supposed to be, the original was Three Wise Men of Gotham. She says, 3 wise heroes in Gotham. They went to sea in a bowl, and if the bowl had been stronger, my song would be longer. I read that same poem to my son last night, and I remember thinking, boy, that's barely a poem. But it is a real poem. She changes it to 3 wise heroes in Gotham. She gets the drop on Batman, and Wonder Woman stops Superman. She goes, she'll break his neck before you break the lasso. And I just gotta say, I'm really disappointed in Batman, how she got the drop on him real easy. And again, I'll reiterate what I said the last time. Is Harley Quinn this powerful? I looked up her character bio to see if she had some new powers I didn't know about, and she does have slightly increased strength and agility now because of something the Poison Ivy gave her, but still, I guess, a little surprising. And here's poor Batman, some ad for he's underwater and just being dragged down by his dead parents. Poor guy. Maybe he does need therapy. Maybe you need therapy. And then I like that she has the lasso of truth around him and she makes him tell about the kryptonite in his belt. But then, all she does is she uses the kryptonite and then she escapes. So she said that she wanted to meet them, but for what purpose? She did tell them that the Booster Gold killed the people. I mean, that's what she did, but... And then it is a little surprising that Harley Quinn is able to essentially defeat and escape from the 3 of the most powerful heroes in the DC universe, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. It's a little surprising, but maybe something's going on. I don't know about. And then Wonder Woman talks about her fear of spiders. That'd be great if one of them was just like, I'm afraid of... Batman was like, I hate bats. Sure, I'm Superman, but sometimes I don't feel super. That's basically this comic in a nut. It's actually not. That was what I was afraid it was going to be like, and it's not. It's actually... Blue Jay, I was just like... his power is getting tiny. He's like, sometimes I wake up tiny. And then I thought that was stupid. Like, yeah, Blue Jay, it's your power. Get used to it. Um, but but Diana here seems to be talking about how her mother was distant, and it's good. It's interesting. And then Booster goes and talks to the other Flash. I'm not sure which one this one is. I forget, there's a couple of them. And then Flash comes back and fights him, punches him, tears in his eyes, all crying. I wish there was like little electricity coming off the tears too. His tears are so fast. And then, so Superman tells Batman that Harley's as good as you. She's good, as good as you. And Batman's like, she's not. No. And then this is a nice page here with Harley talking, doing a little soliloquy. It brings up some interesting possibilities. And then we got Lois Lane wearing clothes that I don't think are appropriate for an office. Don't look like normal office clothes to me. And some funny dialogue between her and her assistant. And then Superman. Now this was another page I really liked. So this is what I liked. So like, I'm sorry to keep picking on Blue Jay, but Superman here talking about the fact that his whole life for most of his life he's pretended to be either Superman or Clark Kent, and questioning which is the real me. That totally makes sense. Like I know a lot of comics where you have a stage persona, and it's for almost everybody your stage persona is just a version of you, because otherwise why would you be doing it? What would even be the appeal? But it's not quite you. And usually it's just an exaggerated version of you, or an exaggerated version of one of your qualities. But you spend a lot of time on stage, and so the longer you spend on stage, that stage persona can start to rub off on you, and then also people react positively to that stage persona, perhaps even more positively than to your real life persona. And so I think that's an interesting idea for Superman to bring up here in his therapy, this idea that he's leading two different lives, Superman and Clark Kent, but then he's a third person really in between the two. So I love Darwin Cook. He did a comic, a DC New Frontier thing. It was sort of like a mini comic in between, in the middle of DC the New Frontier, where Batman and Superman fight, and Batman kicks Superman. He goes, "Get up, you motherless alien," which is pretty intense. And so you forget that Superman's an alien sometimes, but then he takes his mask off, and you see his lizard face. I like this mug. I'm just drinking marshmallow fluff. So anyways, there you go. And you got Electric Warriors. Aren't they hard to draw? Like, they got so much insane detail on them, and you got to draw that every panel. Isn't that annoying? Do they have an assistant that helps with that? And then this is sort of fun here. So like in the old Supermans, like from the 50s, there was always crazy stuff happening. Superman was always turning into like a rainbow-colored Superman, or a lion, or an ant, and poor Jimmy Olsen was always turning into a werewolf, or a lizard, or elongated Jimmy Olsen, or whatever. It's so fun. They're taking those old stories and updating them. Of course, making them gritty, because we can't just have nice, fun things anymore. But I like that they're taking those old, silly stories and kind of making them, updating them. I mean, that was a nice thing that Grant Morrison did in All-Star Superman, to great effect. And then, who will change the future? The crimes of Grindelwald. Who will change? Who? Supervillains. That looks fun. When I was a kid, my parents wouldn't let me have any supervillain bad guy toys. I had a lot of He-Man. They wouldn't let me get any bad guys because they didn't want me identifying with the bad guys. Now we're like, who is the bad guy? Who is the good guy? Like Harley. She's sort of sometimes a good guy, sometimes a bad guy. Makes you think. Anyways, that's Heroes in Crisis number 2. I liked it. I think it's very good. I'm pleasantly surprised. I was worried I was going to dislike this series, but I think it's exploring some interesting ideas. And it's maybe too much, but it's what you get for trying new things, you know? Identity Crisis. It's too much, but it's good in some ways. So, be interested to see what happens in number 3, and I'll probably do that one tomorrow or Saturday. I'm going to see my parents this weekend, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do one of these from my parents' house. Won't that be exciting? You get to see a different background behind me. Maybe I'll bring my dad in. Maybe I'll talk about it with my dad. he won't have much to say. He'll say, I don't know who any of these people are. I recognize Batman. He won't have much to say about it. What do I got on my desk? Oh, I got a drawing of a chicken. Do you like that? And I got this is Grickle. This is drawn from, copied a Grickle drawing. I don't know if you know Grickle. Graham Annabelle. Am I saying his name right? He's great. That's on my desk. What else we got? Notes. Drawing, sketches, notes. Notes. I'm working on a kid's book. Hopefully. You think kids' books are easy because they're so short, but I'll tell you what, they're not. Thanks for watching. And yeah, Upshot. Oh, I already said the Upshot. I like it. I like the new, Heroes in Crisis number 2. And heading out. I'll talk to you soon.